We're cruising right along right after the 2016 Super Rigs truck show here, and we're stepping northbound outside of Joplin. A lot of people probably already recognize this truck and read the lettering on the side of it there. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Barry Trucking, Chad, and my wife Lisa here. Barry, we own the company, operate out of Medford, Wisconsin. Do a lot of flatbed stuff, done some reefer stuff in the past, but now we're mainly flatbed.
Over the years, people have seen you guys in different trucks and whatnot. Give us the history of the trucks that you've had, and then work that into what you're running right now.
Well, most people didn't know me before, I guess, obviously, the white and purple Kenworth. That was my truck for probably about 8 years. I had a couple trucks in between that I've transformed. We had a white and blue one, was in one of the past videos. Ryan, my lease driver, he was owner-operator of mine, had that. And then we had Shannon LeQuy, had a copper or sunburst orange, I believe it was a 2007 Pete 379. They like it basically because it's something you really don't see every day. Nothing against hoods at all. They're my favorites too. You know, I've actually got a few of them, but I decided to be a little different, and I've always tried to be, and step outside of the box a little bit and build a 386. I know I'm not the first one, but did my own twist on it, and basically debuted it in Louisville, hoping to get some pretty good reviews on it, and everybody that I've talked to really has been happy with it, and congratulated us on job well done.
I'll copy that. You said some twists and doing something different. What are some of those things that you've done with your truck that may not have been done with the previous 386s?
That's all factory. I just put my own dump valves in it so I could, I guess, dump the air when I got parked. The boxes, they're actually 379 battery boxes. We just put the monster lids on, but we had to slide those ahead about 4 inches to get the 8-inch picket elbows on here. Dynaflex came through for me, built us a special set of elbows for Louisville about a week before. Otherwise, it's basically just all Peterbilt stuff, other than, you know, fenders and the typical visors and whatnot. I guess offer me a different position there, and asked if I wanted to be body man or anything like that, and I said, yeah, I'll give it a try, and so I did that for quite a few years before I even graduated, and
So how many years total would that be for you?
I had my CDL in 1998 when I graduated, so we're about 20 years into it.
All right, 10-4. You have your wife there with you, Lisa. I've seen the both of you guys working on the build, elbow to elbow there. Lisa, how does that work out to where you have good hands with wrenches and whatnot?
I guess it was just one of the things I decided, if we want a good, strong relationship, and this is what he enjoys the most, I'm going to become a part of it, and slowly started working on it when we had our first semi, back when it all started, and just kept growing from there and learning as I went, and the more he tells me I can't do, the more I try it, and the more I figure it out. And it's brought me to the position of where I started about 2 years ago with a repair shop in our local town.
A lot of people that watch these videos, they leave comments and they go, they say that they've learned some things, and they're going to either get their license and start driving, or they want to get their own authority. You know, what are some of the things that you would tell a guy who either A, wants to get his own license, he wants to get a license and start driving, or B, has his license already and he's talking about being an owner operator? What would you tell him from your experience?
Well, the biggest thing, I guess, is partly on how I was raised. You know, you keep your head in it, you never give up, and eventually it'll pay off. You know, some guys might not get their CDL the first go round. It might take them 2-3 tries, which it happens, but you know, you're going to learn a lot out here on your own, more than I guess any experience from any instructor. So it sometimes makes it difficult, but you know, when I was first owner operating, I would say the first 6 months was not easy.
Well, that's great, you know, and I can tell, you know, through getting to know you over the years and getting to know some of the other guys that come out of your same state, out of Wisconsin there. You guys run into Florida a lot. It certainly is nice to get to know guys like yourself that come into Florida. Speaking of which, you said you run refrigerated, so and you run flatbed now. What are some of the things that you find yourself hauling the most?
Being where I live up in northern Wisconsin, I haul a lot of lumber, you know. It's just kind of a big industry up by us, housing materials and whatnot. It gets me down to where I gotta be.
Let's talk about fuel mileage. You've had previous trucks, you described them, you know, other guys driving leased onto you. What was your average? Obviously, you know, we might be comparing oranges versus apples here, but what was the fuel mileage that you were getting, and what are you getting now since you're running a different style truck?
On average, these curtain sides kind of take away everything that you've ever gotten before. So I try and make the best of it, but you know, averaging 70 miles an hour, if I could still get 6.5 with this, it's not a bad setup, you know, being all stretched out and plus pulling a curtain side trailer.
I would imagine the curtain side is creating a little more drag.
Absolutely. You know, most guys lose from anywhere, I guess, a half mile to...
I heard somebody talking about that over the weekend, and I had no idea.
Absolutely. You know, when you start getting into fuel mileage, there's a lot of factors. You know, your motor's got to be running tip-top and all that too, you know.
And you know, I don't recall that I did ask you about truck specs. So tell me some of the specs on the truck. You know, if you're making that kind of mileage with that kind of horsepower, then you know, obviously you guys got it set up right.
Yeah, you can have all the horsepower in the world, but if you don't drive it right, it's really not going to benefit. I've always been a firm believer in turning it up and just not using it, you know, and it seems to work out good for me. So I guess I'll keep that approach going. You know, of course, there's times where you either like to show off a little bit going up a hill with your buddies or whatnot, but for the most part, yeah, we just idle down the road.
Roger that. Now, truck-wise, do you see yourself this being the last truck that you build, or did you just want to build an aerial truck just for the heck of it, knowing that you might go back to a square hood?
I bought one of these. I guess I don't like having the same truck everybody else does. I kind of like to do my own thing with them, and that's what I did with my W9, you know, love it or hate it, but I bought this one with intentions just to keep going and get some fuel mileage, but I actually ended up buying my W9 back about 4 months after I sold it. Unfortunately hit a dump truck and got totaled out, bought it back from the owner that had bought it from me. So that's sitting in my driveway. That's one project, and I've got a couple more. You know, I'm not done. I'm going to keep going with this and see where it could take us. It's a habit, but it's maybe for me it's worked out good.
It's kind of nice that you're able to buy your truck back. You know, I'm sure you wish it would have been in a different condition, but it's still nice to have that back.
It's, I guess, helped my business to grow. Not so much the trucking side of it, but I guess to get rid of the bank payments, you know. It seems like you build them, you run them for a while, and you always seem to benefit later on down the road. Somebody wants it bad enough, they'll pay you for it.
That's in for. Chad, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And Lisa, it's been a pleasure talking with you there as well. And I'm sure we're going to see you at plenty more truck shows here in the future. You guys have a safe trip getting back up the road there, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for everything. We appreciate it.
Hey, we really appreciate it, Chris. Have yourself a good day and drive safe.
Will do.